Mary, can we please have roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Liz Silva,
Present.
Councilmember Scott Funk,
Present.
Councilmember Lorraine Worthing,
Present.
Councilmember Mario Orozco,
Present.
and Mayor Jose Rios.
Present. All righty, next on the agenda is introduction of a new employee for Public Works. Is that Mr. Dobbins?
Yes.
Mayor, council members, just want to introduce you to your new Public Works Supervisor. Some of you may know Martine, but Martine Diaz comes to us from the school district, lives in town, and we had about a 2.5 week overlap with Tiffany, so he understood what he's getting himself into.
Until now.
We kept some secrets though, Martine.
And Tiffany hasn't gone too far down the road, so she is in touch and continues to, to a small degree, support us here in Gonzales. So with that, just wanted to introduce you to Martine and turn it over to him.
Council members, mayor, everybody, colleagues, I'm happy to be here. The change from a school district to a city, so I think I'm in good hands. I know I am. So we'll have a good years ahead of us.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, Martine.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Diaz, you're a great juggler because when I worked with you as the athletic director at Fairview, it was like gym today, buses and fields prep. So it was like, what do you need now? It's just, I need fields prep, I need buses, and I need the gym ready.
Yeah.
Somehow he did it all ready.
Got it.
Kudos to you, sir. I hope you continue with that same pattern here at the city.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome on board. All right, next item on the agenda is comments from the public. Any member of the public may address the council for a period not to exceed 2 minutes on any subject not from the agenda. The council will listen to all comments, but will take no action and make no comments.
All right, Henry Martinez Jr. I got a call from my nephew 2 weeks ago that he was being chased down by a parent in his car. He ended up in front of I guess it's the boxing place, the gym. And the guy who chased down my nephew got away with it. If I would have chased down a kid, I'd be reckless driving, attempted murder, especially with the vehicle. But for him to get off the hook for whatever reason was it's crazy. And then the officers try to speak to my nephew who's a minor. And luckily he called me right away. And I told him, don't talk to him at all, period. Had my lawyer on the phone. Told him what he needed to do, and the officers let him alone. And then the whole nother scene broke out in front of the gym about disputing sidewalks, which there is no sidewalks. There is no proper parking. There is no, crosswalks or anything leading to this place. I pay my money to have the city inspect my properties. If I didn't have a sidewalk or any kind of signage, they come after me quick. So this gym does need to be looked into. It's not fair that you uphold some people to code, but you don't uphold other people to code. And then finally, when these officers started dealing with my lawyer, they started stumbling, claiming that a 30-day notice. A 30-day notice has nothing to do with the law. So I don't know what they were talking about. And luckily, all this is on video.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Henry Martinez, 112 10th Street. Yeah, it came to my attention that across the street, the sidewalk and the trees end at the building, the tomato packing shed building, and does not continue all the way to the corner. And I was telling the officer, the owner, the guy claiming to be the owner came outside saying I was trespassing. He was talking to the cops real friendly, laughing, having a good time with the cops, telling me I was trespassing. and I tell the cops I am not trespassing because I'm on a 6-foot, 4-foot easement. You can see by down the way, the trees, the sidewalks, you can see clearly 6 feet. And the officers kept on demanding that had to be leaving the property and get off the property, stand in the on the streets. And that is a business 101. Heavy traffic to try to push me onto the sidewalk, off the street, onto the street. And then to have our kids cross the Route 101 on main Alta without crosswalks, without signs saying kids are crossing. How was the boxing gym allowed to open and none of this stuff was addressed? And this falls onto District 3, which is Liz Sylvia. Liz Sylvia is District 3, should have been aware that kids are crossing that crossroad, either there or on the other side of Farmers to get to the boxing gym. And you know, and like I said, the cop was in my face telling me I was trespassing after I think they went inside and coerced a trespass, because before anything happened, the cops were talking nicely. As soon as one of the cops walked in, the lady comes out and says, "Get away from the door." We walked away from the door, stood on the 4 foot.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Mayor, may I correct Mr. Martinez on my last name?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez, my last name is Silva, not Sylvia. So please, if you're going to refer to me, please use my correct last name in the future. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to comment? Seeing nobody from the audience rushing up to the podium, I'll go ahead and ask Marisol, is there any comments via Zoom?
We have one person.
Okay. Is he unmuted?
Hello,
Yes, hello.
hello, hello.
Yes, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, hi, my name is Sarah Martinez. My son was recently chased by the adult that Henry Martinez right there was referring to. My son has ADHD. He goes to that boxing gym to cope with his mental illness that he has. My son was hanging out with this girl. This father chased my son, and they called the police. And because of that incident that he chased my son could have ran in front of a car, got hit. He went to the gym to ask for help. And in that moment, I believe my son got afraid because they were trying to kick my son out of the gym, and they kicked him out. And so he had called my dad, which is Henry Martinez Sr., to help him. And my son hasn't been going to that gym anymore because they said because of Henry Martinez Sr.'s actions, my son had to be kicked out of there. For it to be like a free place for kids to go and sign up contracts, all that other stuff, for them to have kicked out my son for somebody else's action, I believe that wasn't right. This thing also led to the internet. For them being people in charge of that place, they were very disrespectful. I don't think they were, for them to be running a nonprofit place, like that's just not the way for them to be. And like I told them, if anything happens to my son, because they kicked him out, that's gonna lay on them and of the father who chased my son there. And I just believe that wasn't the professional way or the way for them to take out on children who have mental illnesses.
Is that all? Okay, thank you, Sarah.
You're
Any-
welcome.
Marisol? Okay,
We have another person.
okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Pepper, and I spoke a few weeks ago to folks regarding the incident on 4th of July with Gonzales PD at the barbecue. And it's come to my attention that apparently, sadly, my name has been slandered around as somebody who attended and got away. And I'm just wanted to clear the record that I was not in attendance. I was supposed to be there and didn't make it. And I was not in attendance. My concern for what was going on was based on years of being in law enforcement. And it's sad to see that my allies would slander my name such degradingly. But I just wanted to make sure I cleared the air that what happened with the Martinez family involved the people that were there, and that I'm not sure why there's a continued witch hunt, including people who weren't there. It should be dealt with appropriately.
Anything else, Sandra?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your comments. Marisol, one more time. Do we have anyone else?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. Mary, do we have any comments via email?
There are no comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back to council for the consent agenda. If you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda, have any questions for staff? Want to pull an item? Now's your time.
I have an item.
You have an item?
Yes.
Yes, Liz?
Item number 8, I'd like to pull for further clarification.
Okay. Anything else from anyone else? Okay. Then, if staff would indulge us and let us get some clarity on item number 8.
Yes, this is with regards to the wastewater treatment request for additional funds. I thought you came a couple of months ago to ask for additional funds for this project. And I thought at the time I had asked if that was going to be it, but obviously seeing that it's another 160,000, is this going to be all I feel like they're nickel and diming us at this point.
So this is, Councilmember Silva, this is for their program management efforts, which is different than their construction management on the industrial wastewater treatment facility. Let's see, I think we last approved an amendment, when was it? I'm looking through the staff reports. Yeah, the March 18th, 2024 meeting, M&S was selected through a request for qualifications. That was task order 1 for program management services. Then we had task order 2 that extended it through April of 2025. They were able to make that budget last until now. So they basically were able to make what was approved, I know, through task order 2, basically another 6 or 7 months. Yes, there's a number of task orders under the M&S on-call contract. It includes construction management and inspection at the industrial wastewater treatment facility. We then, I know, engaged them for environmental monitoring. That came out of the project EIR, and then they have the program management services. So there's, we're up to the 5th task order.
So this amount should last us how many months?
Well, what's budgeted is through the end of this fiscal year.
So through June.
Yes.
So I should not see another request for funds for program management services from this company until the start of the next fiscal year?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And again, I know you heard it, but I'm just going to reiterate, they were able to make the last authorization, they were able to make that last 5 or 6 additional months.
Okay. Ask them to keep stretching. We like that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Megan Panofsky, our construction manager, is attending virtually via Zoom, and she
Okay, so-
is hearing this. It's all
And
good.
so there's 2 different parts then. There's the
Right.
construction part and then there's the management part. Maybe
Right.
that's the part I didn't understand.
And that's fine. And the management part is really the umbrella, or the work that we're doing at the existing plant.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank
Of
you
course.
for the further explanation.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, if there's no other questions from other council members, I move that we, oh, you do?
I have a
Okay.
question. Just for clarification purposes, Michael, since there is an invoice for Mayor Rios, would he have to recuse himself
It's true.
for this item?
I do. The invoices. Yes, I will recluse myself. Give me a second.
Córrale.
Thank you, Maria.
Mhm.
Now you need to hurry, Jose. Make it quick.
Sorry. I promise you better not to fall down.
Was that through the warrants?
Yes.
Yeah.
I must have missed that one. And I just want to add with regards to the warrants, I appreciated the detail on the credit cards. I think I figured it out. Initials, right? The COG, City of Gonzales.
Yeah.
And I got Tavin's initials. I like when they throw those little codes in there. I figured it out.
Okay, let me do the motion because you're the mayor pro tem.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
A second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve our consent agenda tonight. Any other discussion? Public comment? None? Do we have anybody on Zoom for public comment?
No comments via Zoom.
Any email? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And we'll note that the mayor was excused for this vote. You can come back up, Jose.
I've done it a couple of times. That's why I get around my house. Painting the walls. Probably have to paint them again, but that's okay. I can't seem to paint anyway. Good excuse. All right, moving on to the next item is the regular agenda item. And Liz, would you be so kind as to read that for me?
I can. Item number 11 on our regular agenda, introduce, waive reading and read by title only, ordinance number 2025-153, an ordinance of the city of, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales, updating chapter 10.16 sewer use of the Gonzales Municipal Code. Staff report.
Mayor Rios, council members, this report, as the title implies, is regarding updating the sewer use ordinance, which is chapter 10.16 in the municipal code. This is a complete update, replaces it in its entirety. The updated sewer ordinance, as mentioned in the staff report, will align city requirements with the current state regulations. Wow. Also comply with the latest regional board permit requirements, which is a different item. And then formalize existing city processes such as inspections of the processing facilities and other major, including the major dischargers. So the updated sewer ordinance includes a source control program and also a pre-treatment permit program. This was developed by a consultant. This has actually been a very big lift to do this. And not for visual purposes, but this is the binder that has the different documents that back this up, that provide the enforcement tools and also the permitting. The overall, the permit form is about 3 pages long, but then there's a lot of background information. And then there's a manual as to just how does staff use this permit and these new requirements. So having the updated sewer ordinance in place will provide staff with the tools to enforce the city requirements. Under the existing sewer, and I think it's sewer disposal chapter is what it's called. It basically refers to where the fines will be placed in the city's, the cost of services fee schedule. And as it stands right now, there are no fines for the sewer program in the city's cost of services schedule. So now they're baked into this sewer ordinance, which is in my opinion where it should be. That's my presentation. And in conclusion, staff recommends that the city council introduce, waive reading, read by title only, ordinance 2025-153, amending chapter 10.16 sewer use of the Gonzales Municipal Code, and set the second reading and public hearing for for your November 17th council meeting. I'm ready for any questions.
Any questions from council?
I do.
Oh, Ms. Silva.
It's a hot topic, right?
Definitely.
Knowing that our city is on the west side of 101 is aging. Knowing that my own sewer line is part terracotta and part ABS. Knowing that a lot of other homes are at the same place I am. And we're just crossing our fingers that those terracotta lines hold up. Are we prepared, or will we start preparing for the eventuality that some of these are going to need to be replaced? And are the city lines already ready? Are the city lines, the main ones in the middle of the street or in the
Yes.
middle of the alleyways? I don't know which way some go one way, some go the other way, right?
Hopefully downhill.
And so are they all ready? I know that a lot of homes, and like I said, I'm crossing my fingers. My mother's home is one of those homes that has the terracotta, and I just pray that it holds up. I'm sure Trini doesn't mind me calling him when I need him, but I think there's a lot of homes that don't even realize the kind of sewer line they do have and how compromised it can be, especially as we continue to put beautification in our backyards, our front yards. We don't realize that those roots are eventually going to gravitate
Right.
to the moisture of the terracotta.
Yes.
And they love it.
Yeah, I know. Did I
Trees-
okay, you guys? I mean, I know it's a difficult subject, but I think everybody needs to kind of be aware that there's a lot of homes that could be compromised right now.
So
And
the
back in the old days.
city's policies, like most cities that I'm aware of, the property owner is responsible for the sewer lateral out to the connection to the sewer main. One of the capital improvement projects that we have is a citywide sewer assessment. And unfortunately, we seem to be continuing to just kick that can a little further down the road because we have more urgent needs
Understand.
at the treatment plant. But, we do need to do a sewer system assessment to look at, yes, the sewer mains. Especially, as you say, on the west side of 101. We're gonna be looking at, and we've modeled this regarding what are the upgrades needed to convey the lumpy water from the Vista Lucia project as it's phased in to the existing treatment plant. And we have those, we've identified a capital improvement program around that. I don't think I'm exactly answering your question though, but I will continue to say in a number of cities, and I'm going to look to the Bay Area, is there's requirements when a private property sells that there's an inspection of the sewer lateral and that there's a clean out closer to the street. So the newer approach is there's a clean out at the house and there's a clean out closer to the street. And that there's an inspection happen when private property is sold. That's not in the sewer ordinance right now. I was not going to put it in at this point in time. Really, the sewer ordinance as we updated around the industrial users because they, with their cleansers and sanitizers, they are greatly affecting the biological process at our existing plant. So that was really the main need to update this sewer ordinance. So I think what you're referring to, absolutely, yes. Homes over here, as you know, better than I do, are, 75 years or older. And so these sewer laterals made of clay and they do not last. And, and yes, roots get in them. And, I've had to deal with it on a property that I own twice in 10 years where I had to go back out because of even just the smallest little pinhole, a root will find that and get in there. And it's not fun on Christmas Day to tell your family they have to go home because our toilets don't work. So been there, done that. Not fun at all. So, yes, that's the topic that we should be bringing up with property owners.
I'm a firm believer in being proactive rather than reactive. Reactive is, like you said, it's like a fire drill. Everybody's running in every which direction. And it's just because it's a topic that's kind of new because my mom just had an issue with having to clear out her line And Trini just basically said, well, you know, it's a terracotta line. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Because when I had the addition put on at my house, they took out the terracotta, but not all of it, but most of it. And I just know that I'm not the only house that has dealt with it on this side. If we could maybe somehow educate our community that, you know, do you know what kind of line you have? Do you know what kind of sewer line you have? I mean, it's as simple as that, asking them, you know, do you know what kind of line? Do you know how to, do you know what you can do to maybe fix how do I say this? Keep a problem from happening on your property, in other words. You know, invest in your property, maybe think about changing it out. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what the right.
I'm gonna, building on what you're saying is, what it probably costs a few $100s to have a plumber with video camera go down your line and just look at the condition. As a matter of fact, and so does a homeowner do that, say, every 5 years? You know, what does it look like? Or, you know, because it's at the points of connection is where things can shift and all that. It's at the joints and all that. And so fortunately in this, you know, in these more modern times over the last 10 or 15 years, you're now able to line that full of plastic liner through. And, you know, we didn't have that, say, 25 years ago, where you had to absolutely do either a point repair, or replace it, you know, the entire sewer lateral and all that. So absolutely education would be what really important for property owners.
So what are the connectors to the newer houses? Is it copper?
Oh,
No,
plastic.
It's all,
Plastic.
Yes.
it's called ABS.
Yeah.
It will last and last and last.
Yeah.
Unless you plant something over it. They'll still dig into
Or
it.
drill into it. No, I'm just concerned only because it was a new topic personally at my mom's house, and I remember it being at my house. And thinking about all the houses on this side of 101, that a lot of them have been in families for many, many years. And you don't think about it until there's an issue on Christmas morning, you know? I just think it would behoove us to maybe provide some kind of educational information to our community. And it can go to everybody, not just this side of the freeway. Just, you know, just do a little bit of, you know, housekeeping 101 or yard keeping or sewer keeping. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
But just something that our residents know, that we know that there could be potential issues in the future, but if they take care of them now, they won't be a big issue later. Just throwing that out. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And Liz, adding to that, there are a number of homes, because I know a number of homes where they've connected 2 or 3 homes to the same sewer line. Because back in the day, that was kosher.
Yeah.
The other part, I know that the new building code requires that every 50 feet, you have a service cleanout.
Mm.
That's the new requirement. Most of the lots on this side of town, i.e., for example, my son's house, it's 60 feet across by 110 deep.
That's my lot, my mom's lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and at least on this side of town, some go to the back of the alley, some go to the side. It's crazy. They're all over the place. And you're absolutely right, Patrick. You need someone with a camera to snake that and figure out, okay, where's it going? What do you have? But that's not a bad idea to suggest to our community, because most of them are, like I said, at least 75 years old.
Mm.
So.
And I think also, as Patrick, you mentioned, it is property owner's responsibility, because I've had residents ask me, but, you know, if they can be provided with information and perhaps some type of assistance, especially for those that are elderly who are on very limited income, that would be great.
Okay.
Or maybe find a service that can provide a low cost. if you
The
would.
only question that I had about this ordinance, Mr. Dobbins, is what's the penalty multiplier? Is it 2 times as much that they're gonna pay if they exceed their limit? Is it 3 times what they're gonna pay if they exceed their limit? What have we built in as, I'm sorry to say, a stick to
Sure.
make sure that they comply with what's there? Because, you know, obviously the carrot isn't working, so we're gonna have to use a stick.
I think it's on page 46 or 47.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay, because I was questioning that too, and I think it's $5,000.
Well, I know it goes up.
Per
I mean, I
incident?
know there's a maximum of $25,000
Right.
per instance.
I did
Per
look at it.
incident, per
Okay,
incident.
thank you.
And so that would be, you know, and for instance is, you know, so last month looking at the 3 dischargers. Let me pull out that piece of paper that I brought. So I get it right.
And that was my next question is, the 3 major dischargers,
There was 4,
oh, there's 4?
because I think they added silver farms in there.
Oh, good, good.
I'm just saying,
There it
listed
is.
in the ordinance, though, it lists them.
Okay. All right, so this is those 4 businesses, Silva, Braga, Mann, and Taylor.
Yeah.
Good.
Anybody else, and not just them, like, the way you're bringing up, anybody else that's coming online that becomes the regular user, this will apply to.
Okay.
And I recall at one point, there was a business on on the other side of the tracks that at the time had proposed potentially having a hydroponic business in their warehouse, but they've not moved forward on that. So I would think that if they were to eventually decide on doing something like that, they would be included on this, correct? Okay.
Anybody who is a regular user.
Okay.
Like a super user.
I think just circle back on your comment, Mayor Rios is,
Mm.
and I'm not going to name names, but our public works staff goes and reads the sampling stations at the 3 main dischargers every morning, about 9:30. And they read, you know, basically what was the sewer amount discharged, you know, what's that number, and what's the chlorine residual? Those are the 2 kind of metrics. And, you know, they each have an allocation. Again, I'm not going to name names, but just looking at the month of October, you know, we had 1 user over their allocation 1 time and over the chlorine residual on a different day. Another user, another discharger, you know, 3 times last month over the chlorine residual. That would be $25,000 fine each day.
Wow. Well, I bet you they won't do that too often.
Yes.
Okay, that answers my questions. Any?
I would like to add to the mayor that, this has been shared with the big industrial folks, users, so they are aware of it. We didn't have any comments back. I'm sure later on, questions and comments will come, but, they reviewed it, they had a chance to provide feedback, et cetera.
Did you get any feedback?
Mr.
So,
John?
no, we
No.
don't.
Okay, great. All right, then we're moving down the right path.
Michael's gonna have to be right on board here pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and open this to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to make a comment may do so at this time. See no one rushing the podium or hearing nobody rush the podium, because I certainly can't see them. I'll go ahead and move forward with Marisol. Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
Yes, we have one person.
Okay, great.
Hello, as for the public service announcements, you could always put that on Instagram, utilize your social media pages. And as for the elderly and, you know, people who don't have access to that type of snake, I don't know, maybe invest $200 into one and rent it out to the community, and some people could go to the city hall. Hey, can I check out the snake? And that person checks out the snake. It's expensive, but it's like it'll save you a lot of money on infrastructure wise. So those are my 2 thoughts. Thank you for your time.
Okay, and who is the person speaking on this? Is that Andrew Brown? Marisol?
Unknown.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Mr. Brown. All right. Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period. Bring it back to council. What action do we need, Michael? All I need to do is a motion to do this. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we introduce, waive reading, and read by title only ordinance number 2025-153 as presented.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, I apologize. I didn't know.
Oh, I apologize.
Out of caution, I think I'm going to abstain on this one and
Okay,
we can talk later about my connection potentially with Braga, so, yeah. Thank you. I'm saying, yeah.
So it's a 4, 1 abstention. Okay?
Yeah.
Then moving on with the agenda, we have the Gonzalez Youth Council.
Sorry,
Who's speaking
Uh,
tonight?
Orlando.
Orlando? First,
So
okay.
it'll be divided into 3 sections. So I'll be starting off with our updates. So the Gonzalez Youth Council is still continuing to find the necessary knowledge, information, and research to ensure that we can continue working on our community project. The Gonzalez Youth Council did also conduct a tour of the community center where the commissioners and certain members were able to get an enhancement on updates in regard to the different areas of the community center, dates to keep in mind, and additional information. All who attended were able to discuss the visions and ideas on the different programming with organizations and how meetings will operate and potential events. The Gonzalez Youth Council did also have a very busy October filled with enthusiastic activities from leading and coordinating homecoming to celebrating Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. As the Gonzalez Youth Council continues conducting research and finding the necessary connections to reach out and network with, we are hopeful of making a true impact and make more progress in the upcoming Youth Council meetings. Now I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much, Fernando. And we're gonna start off with the Gonzalez High School updates. And our first high school update will be on the High School Interact Club, which they will have their Interact conference on November 8th from 8 to 2, 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. at the Salinas High School. And the next one will be on the Gonzalez High School football. We'll have their last home game on this Friday, November 7th.
Already.
Additionally, students will also be attending a Hartnell Field Day on November 7th, which same day as the football game, for agricultural education students and seemingly just to develop their skills in leadership and also acknowledging the different opportunities and career opportunities in agriculture. Now I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much. And for our third agenda will be the GYC related dates. So our first one will be on November 8th. We will be having another tour at the community center for those who weren't able to attend due to homecoming day. And this tour will be around 10 to 12. And finally, on November 13th, we will be having our 4th GYC meeting to finish our SMART goals and finally starting our project and outreach process. Pass it on to you, Randall. Great.
Thank you. This is all to report for the Gonzalez Youth Council with current actions and planned events and dates. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Very good.
Thanks a lot.
Any questions for the youth?
No.
No, we're good?
Good job.
Good job. All right. Then moving on with the agenda and its committee reports, I start out with TAMC. Really 2 major items of interest. One was to discuss future funding for the top 3 projects in the county. Number 1 being the Highway 68 corridor. We're starting off with the AI technology, trying to better synchronize the traffic lights. Theoretically, and I say that because we're dealing with Caltrans, it's supposed to be done and implemented in December. When? We don't have a firm date, as usual. Once that's done, if long-term is roundabouts, but that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not going to open that one. The next is the 101 corridor improvements, which will be basically Gonzalez to Salinas. They're going to close all the left-hand turns. And the first major project of that particular project will be the 101 overpass at Chular. So right now the intent is to build it just a little bit north of the community of Chular. And I'm not exactly sure what will happen with the old one, where they will demo it. But the intent is that all that heavy traffic that currently works through Chular will still be able to kind of do that, but on the outskirts. So they really will have no need to go in the middle of town, which I'm sure the Chular residents will be more than happy to hear about that. Finally, the third project is funding and a study of a train stop in the community of Pajaro. Tennessee as a whole feels that, this is a closer step to getting Caltrain to come down the 101 corridor. And they think that by placing it in Pajaro, it would not only encourage Salinas residents, but maybe even Santa Cruz residents to jump on Caltrain and eliminate a lot of traffic off of all the other arteries. I'm not sure how successful that'd be because they're talking about an $85 million project currently. 85 easily ends up being 125, if not more, easily. The last part of the discussion was, and believe me when I tell you, it was long, was looking for a new site for the TAMC staff, because right now we're in a lease, and I guess we've been told that come 2028, you're out of there. So we're trying to find a location, 2 locations in Marina were identified and 1 Salinas. Of course, Mayor Labar is the one that spoke up and said, look, I already have to drive an hour from King City to meet my TAMC meetings. It'd be nicer if you kept it more centralized. So Mr. Lopez offered that there's an empty lot, a large empty lot in Chular, that maybe we could have the office there. I don't think that's going to get too much traction, but hey, it's worth throwing it out there. The other is on Main Street, if you're all familiar where the Salinas High School district offices are, that building is going to go on, they're thinking it's going to be sold. So it's pretty ideal for TAMC because it's kind of centrally located. The only other issue is that they'd like to add a large enough conference or meeting room. So roughly we're looking at about $1.4 million for that conference room and then whatever the price is for the building. So that's again up in the air. I know that sounds like a big money, but long-term, I mean, everybody was screaming when they bought Household Credit Services, and I think that's one of the smartest moves on the county's part, because how many other locations were they leasing that now have been consolidated, and it's easy out, easy in, easy out, lots of parking. I don't know. I think it's a really good move on the county's part to purchase that. Those were the comments on TAMC. We have the mayor's meeting. It's coming up. The last mayor meeting was canceled. This one is in Marina this Friday, but we did have a South County meeting that I think, Carmen, you'll report on the suggestion by the city manager saw that and in your report, maybe you can report that out. Do you remember what we talked about? Well, the one I was thinking is where we're gonna go jointly, go to Mr. Lopez and see if he'd fund it, because I think it's a huge safety issue that would really bode well for our community. But I'll let her report on that. Next up, I believe is MST.
Nope.
Oh,
Me.
sorry, I apologize. Salinas Valley Recycles.
Salinas Valley Recycles. Well, as you all know, we are recruiting right now for a new general manager. On Friday, the 14th, we will be interviewing the potential candidates. It will be an all-day session. I think the location is to be determined at this point, but so keep us in your thoughts that day and help us make the right decision, because Patrick has been at the authority for, I think, close to 18 years. So our next regular meeting will be Thursday, November 20th. We will have our executive meeting on this Thursday. So things are moving right along, and it's exciting. I like, they showed us at our last meeting, they showed us how financially, how well we've done actually since Patrick started. And there was a lot of red in the first 7 or 8 years, and now it's just uphill. So I said, can you share some of that? Well, if you know, the cities over here. This Friday, the 7th at 11 a.m. here in our Central Park, I'm probably going to steal a little bit of thunder from the city manager, but it's our Hometown Heroes. So I want to remind everybody that on November 11th, which is Veterans Day, please reach out and thank a veteran. They're the ones that ensure that our freedoms are what we enjoy every day. So think of that on the 11th. But again, on this Friday at 11, Hometown Heroes at Central Park, we will have the signs will go up. There'll be a little presentation, and I look forward to being there and celebrating our hometown heroes. And that's all I have.
Okay. Do we have Measure K as well on this? No, we're done then. All right.
I guess I went on and said my regular stuff.
Moving over to oral communications, Ms. Orozco, would you like to start, or did we
Yeah.
start from that side? And
That's
doesn't
fine,
matter.
thank you. I just want to take this moment to thank the staff for all of their hard work on the recent events that we had, the trunk, trunk and treat event. It was really fun. I was out there and saw the kids all dressed up in their costumes. My grandson was Godzilla, so there was some little ones that were afraid of Godzilla, and there were others that were just happy to meet Godzilla, but you know, it was a great event. And also, the grand opening for the Amor de Café event was also a great event. So just thank you, staff, for all your hard work on doing these events for our community. Thank you.
Mr. Punk?
Nothing tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Silva?
Yeah, I know I went ahead and said a couple of things, but I do have one more thing, and that
Okay.
was something that I saw on social media, and it broke my heart because it should not have happened. And that was something that happened over the weekend in Salinas at the intersection of Main and Hardin Parkway. Two young individuals, and apparently they're students in the Salinas Union High School District. They were riding mini bikes northbound on Main Street and did not follow the rules of the road. First of all, they were on mini bikes without helmets, and those are not licensed to be on the road to begin with. But it's my concern because we may not have mini bikes here in town, but we do have individuals that use electric or motorized scooters and bicycles. And they need to remember to please follow the rules of the road. Stop when there's a stop sign. Wear your helmets. This individual hit a car as it was coming through the intersection, and he burst into flames. And it's horrible to see the video. And there was a letter that came out from the Salinas Union High School District Superintendent Zandra Galvan, indicating that the two were students within the school district and urged parents to please educate their children, you know, for the safety. It's horrendous to look at. Fortunately, both of those students did survive, but they are injured. One of them was on fire and the other one rolled on him. So it was very frightening to see. So just a reminder, it's not that you can't have fun, but learn the rules of the road and pay attention and follow them. And that's all I have.
All righty, Ms. Worthy?
I just have a question. How much longer are we going to allow people to communicate via Zoom? I mean, is that something that is a continuing thing forever, or is it?
The answer is yes. The Brown Act has been amended again, and so I'll be bringing you the host of changes that we're going to have to make to our meeting procedures to accommodate not only this, but other types of communication. So yeah, it looks like Zoom communication, email communication is going to continue. There's also new rules and regs that are going to apply to remote participation by both council members as well as members of the citizens of the city. So I'll be bringing that to you. Some of them, the rules I think will be in effect on January 1. Some of the others I think won't be in effect until June of 2026. So
Okay.
I'll be bringing that to
I
you.
was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay, the other one is, I did want to bring to everyone's attention, we are all aware of the odors that are still continuing here in Gonzales. I did make a phone call a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't at the last meeting, so I wanted to bring it up then. And when I spoke to the woman that was in charge at the Air Quality Board, she said, "You're the only person that's ever called us." I said, that's really interesting. Well, I'm calling you now because I have lots of people calling me. So what I would like to do, if possible, is to give the phone number out of this person and encourage our residents to make the calls. Now, I will say that she did have a valid point, and that was that sometimes it could just be fertilizer that, that people are putting down, that the fields are putting down, the agriculture community is putting down. Jose's shaking his head.
Trust me, I've worked with farmers for far too long to know what it
Yeah, it's
fertilizer
different.
smells like.
It's different. So what I would like to do, and I don't know how we can do this, Carmen, is perhaps put the phone number down somewhere, maybe in the next utility bill or something, and encourage our residents that if something comes up, to call that lady directly. I actually have her direct line, because I called the regular number and then she called me back and gave me her number.
I want that number, please.
Yeah, I have it. So anyway, she encouraged me. She told me, please tell people to call. I said, okay. So I thought if our community decided to really get into it and really call, then maybe they might take some action. So something to think about.
For sure.
And that is the only thing that I have at this time. I also, wait, one quick thing is that we've had some tragedies in our community the past couple of weeks. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has stepped up to help in our community. And it always makes me feel so good to know that I always know that if something were to happen in my family, that there would be people there to help. And I know that we currently have a family in town that really does need help. And the people that have stepped up have been amazing. And so thank you to everyone that is helping out. That's all I have. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you. I really do not have anything at this point. I do want to comment to the council here. You are probably aware that Constellation Winery was purchased, and so that was a nice benefit to the community. In the meantime, our Del Monte Foods Man Packing has also been purchased by, I believe it was a conglomerate of the Church Brothers and Vince Brigantino over from Hollister. So they're under new management. One of their managers called me because they're interested in upgrading and adding substantial amount of electrical load. And so he still thinks I work for PG&E. I told him, no, sorry, I have no control over that. But, you know, I think we're at a point where if things continue to flourish, I mean, we're going to have the sewage capacity, but at this point, we do not have the electrical capacity. So we need to start thinking of a long-term plan. You know, as hard as I've been pushing different folks to do something, it's not happening. And this substation has been over capacity now. How it's staying together beats the heck out of me, but somehow I envision one of these days that thing is just gonna go boom.
Don't say that.
That substation it's as old as I can remember. I mean, I think that's the original substation, if I'm not mistaken. And so all this new load, and we're not talking about small stuff. The gentleman that called me said, hey, I want to add some vacuum tubes. And I said, well, yeah, well, how many would you like to add? He says, oh, maybe 3, I don't know, maybe 5. At 350 horsepower apiece, that's a lot of electricity. I mean, great for PG&E, they're going to be making buku money, but they won't if they can't get enough power to them. So I told them, just be patient. We'll see what we can do. And I'm hoping that that sale also brings us some more green into the city. At least that's my hope. That's really all I have, Carmen. I'll let you go ahead and do your manager's update.
Sure, I don't have too much, but some of the folks here shared, just thank everyone for the help on the trick or treat staff, but also those that donated candy and helped us make it happen. We still saw hundreds and hundreds of kids, even though we were worried about the weather. There was rain that day in Salinas, and so worried that it was going to sprinkle out here. We had a little bit of sprinkle, but it was not bad. So I'm glad the community was able to make it out, and everybody had a safe Halloween. The Hometown Heroes event you already heard is this Friday at 11 o'clock at Central Park. So if you can be here, join us. We'd love to have you. And join us in celebrating our heroes. Holiday lights, want to get that on people's calendar already because it's just around the corner, December 5th. So just calendar that in. what the mayor was referring to earlier was a potential effort to help fund the flock camera system. Some cities already have it, and there is some interest potentially from Supervisor Lopez to support the South County communities in ensuring that we all have a flock system in place. And so there is conversation around that. There is a request to sign on to a letter for proposal of a flock system to see if we can get it funded. So we're all for that. So there's more conversation to be had, but we're looking to seek funding to bring it into our community because we are one of the communities that don't just yet have a flock system in place. So more information to come on that. Do you have questions? Flock, it's called flock
Cameras.
system.
Oh, the.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's basically cameras that are on the city entrances. Some communities have a lot more on their stoplights and roads, et cetera. But for us, we'd want it in our city entrance and exits so that
So saw that had a bank robbery, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
They caught him using that system.
yeah. Yeah,
So-
so license plate readers, et cetera, so that we know who's coming in and out of town, and they use it often to catch bad behaviors, and so it would help our efforts tremendously, and help make all South counties safer.
And I thought it was reasonable. She made a comment about the price, which was, I believe,
That's the part that I still am waiting to get
5
more
cameras,
details.
$90,000
I'm
for
still waiting
5
to get
years.
more details on because we had an understanding that it was gonna be a lot more than that, but if it's affordable and doable, and especially if there's funding that may come forth, that would be great. So I'll have more to report on that as we get some of those questions answered and that information. The last thing I want to share, I did also talk to, again, the director of the health department who oversees environmental health about the odor. She also mentioned she did not know it was in county jurisdiction and said she was going to actually get environmental health to look into it as well and see if there were other measures that they could take. Because same, folks kind of toss the ball over the place, but I said, no, it is in county jurisdiction. It's under your guys' purview. So I will follow up and with her, see if there was any traction through environmental health and if there's anything they could do. But I think attacking the issue from all angles is probably the best thing to do. So I think we just got to be the squeaky wheel.
Well, and we have a willing farmer who's willing to locate them up by the landfill, so
And
I'm
that's,
sure they'd receive a lot less complaints.
that's all I have for this evening.
Okay.
And Chief Musio has something.
Okay. Before Chief Muzio, I just want to circle back on your comment, Mayor Rios, regarding PG&E, and at your next council meeting, our local government affairs rep, Jasmine Venegas, is going to present, and I'll let her know that she'll be asked about the reconductoring project. And when we last met with the government affairs staff, I asked for a written schedule, and that has not been produced. So I just want to let you know that Jasmine will be at your next council meeting, and we'll provide an update regarding the reconductoring project. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Ruscio?
Yes, just want to let you know the new engine is in service. We got it in service last Tuesday it went in service. It's getting used right now. It's going to calls, went to a bunch of calls this weekend. So you'll see it out there, see it around. So far, no complaints. All the guys are pretty happy with it. It does only go about 55, 56 on the freeway, which I'm not losing any sleep over that. So we're good. That's
Hey,
it.
you're being safe.
Yep.
Problem there. All right, I'd like to close this council meeting with a moment of silence for 2 community members that have passed. Sagrario Bojorquez, who is the wife of Jonathan Bojorquez, one of our Measure K committee members and past planning commissioner. She was a young teacher at La Gloria School. The entire school was in mourning. And then we have I think she was a past commissioner. Was she also a past council member? Or was Chris De La Rosa? No?
Very active in the American Legion of
Very active in the Legion. but I'm almost positive she was on the plan commission a long, long time ago. Yeah, she was. Trying to remember, I think, yeah, Rudy, okay. So would you please join me in a moment of silence for two more members lost from our community? Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I'm always waiting for someone to say, no, I don't want to go. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimously, we're done.